Everything happened. That's the title of this video. That's what I'm sticking with, because everything happened in hockey today. Some of it was caught on the podcast. A lot of it was not. So by the end of the video, I'm hoping to walk you through all that, and I'm also waiting on, apparently Sam Reinhart is getting traded to the Florida Panthers, and if Mark Bergevin could come up with a good explanation by the end of this too, that would be wonderful. There are a few trades we're not going to talk about here because we already talked about them on the podcast that I released earlier today. So that's the Nedeljkovic trade, that's the Pitlick trade, that is the Ristolainen trade with Philadelphia. We're not going to do those, already did them on the podcast. If you want, SDPN, that is the YouTube channel that we uploaded them on. We'll start with the trade between the Rangers and Blues. Pavel Buchnevich going to the St. Louis Blues in exchange for Sammy Blais and a second-round pick. I mean, the Blues get the best player, and they always say, oh, the team that got the best player wins the deal. That's not always true. It's a lazy way of looking at it. Except in this scenario, I'm pretty sure it's true. Besides having pretty good underlying numbers, Buchnevich has thrown up back-to-back 45-plus point seasons in shortened seasons, and Sammy Blais just had a career high of 15 points. Yes, that's what the second rounder is for, but come on. The asterisk there, the Blues do have to re-sign Buchnevich. I gotta imagine he's asking for a lot for this deal to make sense. North of 4, north of 5. And if you're wondering why the Rangers got Sammy Blais, I saw that he was 6'2", and I'm like, oh, I bet he's a fighter. And the last thing that I saw of him on YouTube is him getting mauled by Antoine Roussel. I don't know the play here. I really don't. Then there's the Vancouver-Arizona trade. There's a lot more meat on this bone. Are you ready? Here's the full deal from the Vancouver Canucks Twitter account. Vancouver receives Oliver Ekman-Larsson from the Arizona Coyotes and the rights to Connor Garland, because he still needs a contract, in exchange for Louis Eriksson, Jay Beagle, Antoine Roussel, who I just mentioned, a first-round pick in 2021, a second-round pick in 2022, and a seventh-round pick in 2023. The Arizona Coyotes needed picks. They needed to recoup picks because they had to forfeit a few in that training scandal with the prospects. But Vancouver gave them a bunch of bad contracts to do it. Eriksson, they've been trying to get rid of forever. Roussel and Beagle, those aren't good contracts. But here's the thing. They're all about to expire. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's is going on forever. 6 more years at it's going to be almost $7 million because the Coyotes are retaining 12% of that. I think it's $1.2 million per season, a la Phil Kessel back in the day. And Connor Garland is straight up good. So I guess that's what makes the deal kind of stomachable. I will say this. I looked at the Duncan Keith sweepstakes and the Oilers were getting him, but the Canucks were rumored for a little while. And I was trying to justify it, and I'm like, okay. A lot of times when I saw Quinn Hughes last season, you could tell he's an elite talent. He's an amazing player. But he was also kind of drowning in the responsibility. If they bring in a guy like Keith, who knows? Maybe he can show him a thing or two. He can take some of the load off, whatever. Ekman-Larsson is now that guy. Ekman-Larsson's numbers were horrendous this past season. Horrendous. He hasn't quite been the same since he was made captain of that team. I wonder if being in Vancouver, and especially being around the Sedins, who are now part of the staff, I wonder if that's going to put him in his happy place and help bring back some of that Oliver Ekman-Larsson that we came to know years before. But even if he has a bounce back year here, there's a half a decade after that. Oh boy, this is a big risk for Vancouver, and they still have to re-sign Garland. And as for the Coyotes, who are you icing next year? What's the team? A smaller deal from Frege, hearing Jake Bean to Columbus for a second rounder tonight. The second rounder is 44th overall, acquired from Chicago. My first thought when I saw this deal was, wow, the Seattle Kraken must really like Morgan Geekie, because you'll remember a lot of people thought that the Kraken were going to take Jake Bean, who was exposed by the Carolina Hurricanes. Instead, they took the young forward Morgan Geekie. And now we know Jake Bean is worth a second rounder, so they didn't go the route of Vegas. What Vegas probably would have done in their expansion draft was take Bean because they know his value and then flip him for a second. The Kraken, right now, except for trading Tyler Pitlick, haven't done any of that. They do have $30 million worth of cap space, but they haven't done any of that. Jake Bean gets a new start in Columbus, didn't really get a proper shot in Carolina. I think there still could be a player there. By the way, there was a second rounder here that came from Chicago. How did that come to be? Buckle up. This trade is enormous. The Ristolainen trade was massive, and I said nothing's going to top that. And then the Ekman-Larsson trade does. And then Seth Jones. From Pierre LeBrun to Chicago, they get Seth Jones, the 32nd overall pick, so the last pick of the first round tonight, a 6th round pick in 2022 as well. The Columbus Blue Jackets get Adam Boqvist, a 1st and 2nd round picks this weekend, a 1st round pick in 2022. If the pick is top 2, it becomes a 2023 1st round pick instead. The first player I actually want to talk about in this deal is Boqvist, because you need to know how good he is to have a full gauge of what Chicago gave up here this past season in Boqvist's sophomore season on a team that was not very good, especially on the back end in the Chicago Blackhawks. He had 16 points in 35 games. That's a nearly half a point a game defenseman that the Chicago Blackhawks drafted 8th overall in 2018. 2 1st round picks, a 2nd, and a blue chip prospect. This is not nothing. Now, bit of an asterisk on that, because I did see that floating around. Oh my God, they gave up 2 firsts. Sort of. They did a pick swap, basically, in the 1st round this year. Still significant, man. Like, this is Seth Jones has to be unbelievable for this deal to make sense. Here's the problem. He wasn't this past season. He wasn't at all. All season, the stats guys have been talking about Seth Jones and the contract that he's going to get and his bad underlying numbers. Now, I'm willing to bet Seth Jones isn't as bad as those numbers show. Maybe he'll get less responsibility somewhere else, but I really don't think that's going to be Chicago. But all season, I saw, oh, what's he going to get? What's he going to get? And the contract still blew me away. 8 years, 9.5 per? With that deal, the Blackhawks narrowly avoid becoming the 2nd team in the NHL to have 3 double-digit guys. They have Kane, they have Taves, and Jones is only $500,000 short for the next 8 years. Except it's actually 9 years, because Jones is under contract for $5.4 million this upcoming season. They're going to have this guy until he's like 35. If you're going to give the Blackhawks kudos, well, they don't have to look for a right-handed defenseman for a while, but also DeBrincat was in rumors all week, and Kirby Dach, and that never made any sense. I thought that would have been a huge mistake. DeBrincat especially. Like Dach has to grow into his career a little bit. We already know DeBrincat is a monster when it comes to scoring goals. Trading him makes no sense, so I guess that's why they had to give up so many picks. Wow. This is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Chicago, they can't be done, I guess is what I'm saying. They can't be done. We also can't forget that this was the draft, and someone went 1st overall, and this is great news for the Buffalo Sabres. With the 1st overall pick, the Buffalo Sabres select Owen Power. Now, I saw some quotes a few weeks ago that sort of made it sound like Power didn't want to go to Buffalo, and then a few people reached out and clarified, no, this guy's from Mississauga. His family used to go to Sabres games. He's very much excited to join this organization. And beyond the fact that he's a good player, and Buffalo needs good players, they need guys who are buying in, who really want to be there. And it sounds like a Jack Eichel trade could come at any minute. Sam Reinhart, at the time I'm shooting this, still has not been officially dealt. There's going to be a new era in Buffalo, a true rebuild, hopefully this time, and he's going to be a big part of it, and he's a willing participant. So good for the Sabres, good for their fans. I think it's a good day for that team. With Reinhart, it sounds like the deal's done, pending a trade call. Reinhart is going to the Florida Panthers. Not knowing what the return, holy cow, is the Atlantic Division so good. Like, really strong teams. Tampa and the Panthers and the Habs just went to the final. And the Habs, who just built up a bunch of goodwill and flushed it down the toilet. So here's what happened, and there's been a lot going on in the hockey world over the last little while. It's possible you might have missed this story. So if you listen to the podcast, you know I swear a lot. If you watch this channel, you know I don't. And I know a lot of kids watch this channel. So I'm just going to say right now, parents, if you don't want your kids hearing this conversation, now's the time to switch to something else. Are you ready? Okay, let's talk about it. So there's a London Knights prospect named Logan mailloux who was playing in Sweden. He was having a consensual sexual encounter with a girl over there and took a photo and circulated it with his teammates without her consent. Big thank you, by the way, to Katie Strang, who is a fantastic journalist for The Athletic. I'm relying on an article of hers. A lot of the information I'm about to tell you is from there. I highly encourage you to go to The Athletic and read it. From Strang's article, in December, he was issued a summary fine akin to a conviction in Swedish court for offensive photography constituting an invasion of privacy and defamation. Since that has come to light relatively soon for the upcoming NHL draft, draft, which Mailloux was supposed to be a part of and was a potential first-rounder for, he issued the following statement. Being drafted into the NHL is an honor and a privilege that no one takes lightly. The NHL draft should be one of the most exciting landmark moments in a player's career, and given the circumstances, I don't feel I have demonstrated strong enough maturity or character to earn that privilege in the 2021 draft. If I were to ever have the honor of being selected, I would want a fan base to be proud to welcome me to their organization. I know it will take time for society to build back the trust I have lost, and that is why I think it is best that I renounce myself from the 2021 NHL draft and ask that no one select me this upcoming weekend. I feel that this would allow me the opportunity to demonstrate an adequate level of maturity and character next season with the London Knights in the OHL and provide all the NHL teams the opportunity to reassess my character towards the 2022 NHL draft. There's his statement, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this as well. From Strang's article. The woman said she asked that Mailloux send her a sincere apology in written form because she did not want to meet with him in person. She said she received a text that was no longer than 3 sentences. All I wanted was a heartfelt apology for his behavior, the woman wrote to The Athletic. So, now you're relatively caught up in the story. Why is it relevant today? The Habs picked this guy! Marc Bergevin, on behalf of the Montreal Canadiens, selected Logan Mailloux with the 31st overall pick in the 2021 draft. A decision that is frankly, bluntly, truthfully, indefensible in every way, shape, and form. Now, there are going to be some of you finger-wagging and shaking your head at the screen right now. Isn't it possible that he just made a mistake? Isn't it possible for second chances? That is a much longer and more complicated conversation, but I cannot get past the fact this kid asked you not to pick him because he didn't think he was mature enough. Now, this was pointed out because it is certainly relevant. You cannot actually renounce yourself from the NHL draft, like you can't officially do that. However, you certainly do not have to pick a player who told everybody not to pick him. It's one thing if there's a player who's like, I don't want to play for the Flyers or whatever. Don't pick me if you're the Flyers. It's one thing if you're the Flyers and you say, you know what, we're going to pick you anyway. Here's what the Habs said about all this. Canadian statement on selecting Logan Mailloux. No, I already have to pause. If you have to issue a statement just for drafting a guy, do you think that's a good sign? Do you think this was the right decision? By drafting prospect Logan Mailloux with the 31st overall pick, the Montreal Canadiens organization not only selected a promising hockey player, you started with that, huh? But also a young man who recently admitted to making a serious mistake. The Canadiens are aware of the situation and by no means minimize the severity of Logan's actions. Logan understands the impact of his actions. His recent public statement is a genuine acknowledgement of his poor behavior and the first step on his personal journey. We are making a commitment to accompany Logan on his journey by providing him with the tools to mature and the necessary support to guide him in his development. We are also committed to raising awareness among our players about the repercussions of their actions on the lives of others. Something else that should give you pause. From Greg Wyshynski, multiple NHL teams had indicated they might pick Logan Mailloux in the second round of the 2021 draft, despite his renouncing himself from being selected, sources tell ESPN. Given that the Canadiens didn't pick again until number 63, imagine that's why they took him at number 31. If you think I'm just being some nerdy hockey Twitter blogger boy about this, here's Bob freaking McKenzie. Final line of statement. We are committed to raising awareness among our players about the repercussions of their actions on the lives of others. Will be met with scorn and disbelief because, from a hockey perspective, Mailloux faced no real repercussions. He's a first-rounder. With regards to the Chicago Blackhawks, who picked next after the Montreal Canadiens pick as if to just sickly drive the point home, the Chicago Blackhawks are caught up in their own scandal. I'm sure you're well acquainted with it and know what you need to know about it. Mark Bergevin was the director of hockey personnel in 2010 when this all took place. Montreal Canadiens fans, this is not a shot at you. I like to think we've built enough of a rapport over the past couple months that you know where I'm coming from with this emotionally. I like you guys. The Montreal Canadiens and the story of this past season and this past playoffs and heroic efforts, and they were fantastic to watch. What a story. Mark Bergevin ought to be ashamed of himself. Indefensible garbage. This kid, this legal adult, told everybody he wasn't mature enough for this right now, and you gave it to him anyway. No reason for it. None. Call this what it is with your chest. Trash. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's an update, because I don't want to end the video on that note, from Elliot Friedman regarding the Sam Reinhart to Florida trade. When this is done, believe goalie Devin Levi will be part of the return for Buffalo. You might remember Levi as a, 7th round pick from last draft in 2020, but also goalie for Team Canada, who is absolutely amazing for the team. I'm not sure, but I've heard another player of significance is involved in this deal. I'm not 100% confident saying the name yet, but it sounds like it's going to be a package for Sam Reinhart, not just Levi. So, this video is so much longer than intended, but there was a lot that happened today. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like to. Tell all your friends. We'll have a new podcast Monday where I'll get to talk about this and probably more with Adam and Jesse. And also, I'm going to link to Katie Strang's article. Must read. You have to understand.